Let's work on the formatting of our columns as a next step. At the moment, we only have text. As already mentioned, you can see this by the symbol next to the corresponding column name. The situation that we only have text here, by the way, is due to the fact that we unselected the automatic type detection in the options. You remember that from the second course module. Typically, or by default, Power BI would be able to identify, for example, the year column as whole number in this case, but for educational purposes in this course, we unselected this option and now format the information manually. Again, we have different ways to access the format option. The most obvious one is to click on to this corresponding field here, and here you can now select the different options you have. In this case, we have our country ID, and the country ID, well, is not a text. The country ID should be a whole number, therefore let's change this quickly by clicking right here. The country column is text, this is fine. The year should have a different format though. And to be very precise, the year should be a date, but as we're only working with entire years, so we don't have monthly or daily information, we will format this as a whole number, as this will be totally sufficient for our purposes. Later in this course, we'll dive deeper into dates though, so no worries at this stage. To access the format menu, we have two additional options besides clicking right here. One option again would be to right click and then go to change type right here. That's the same menu we just saw. And we can also go to the transform ribbon up here and here to data type. Data type again provides the same options. In this case, we will use the whole number once again to change the format of this column. Besides this manual type detection, I mentioned that Power BI has the automatic type detection, and although it's unselected by default, we can manually use the automatic type detection again. So let's select the age group column and also all remaining columns. And now we'll go again to the transform ribbon, and here we select detect data type. If you do so, you see that age group remained text. We'll work on that age group column in a lot more detail throughout this module, but for the moment this is fine. But our remaining columns, population male, female, and total, these were turned into decimal numbers, as you can see it right here. So the format now was changed, but we have to make sure that we don't have any errors in our project now. And that's a crucial note at this stage, because as long as we work with plain text here, well, not a lot can go wrong typically. But once you change the format of the information, problems can occur. Why is this the case? Well, because if you can't turn a certain information, for example, a text like Austria here, into a number, then Power BI Desktop will throw an error. And now I'm referring to a real error here, because earlier we had that NA topic, which just was NA text in the end, but these are now real errors, meaning that you have a problem in your dataset. And to easily identify such errors, especially after such formatting actions, you can go to the Home ribbon and now select Apply right here. Because as explained before, if you just close the query editor, you will just leave it, but the changes will not be applied and loaded into the data model. But if you press Apply, then Power BI tries to process the entire data, and with that, it will tell you if something went wrong. So let's press Apply. Now the data will be processed. This can take a few seconds. That's totally normal. We have an error here. So something went wrong when formatting our data. You can also see that for our initial queries, of course, everything is alright, but in our combined query, one error occurred. Now, how can you deal with these errors now? Well, we can go to View Errors right here. And now we get additional information here in Power BI Desktop. The information we get is stored in a new so-called group. I'll come back to groups in a few minutes. And in this group, we have this information, this new table, which indicates the row number where the error occurred in our population combined query. And if you scroll to the right, you can see that here in the population total column, something went wrong. And if you click onto the error, you can see what happened. The problem is that Power BI couldn't convert the value stored in there, which was text, into a number. And the problem is that we have the number, so the actual population count right here, so starting with the 8, but ahead of it, we have this error text. This text is, of course, not supposed to be right there. It is caused by the source file, so this error text was added there. Of course, it was added intentionally by myself to demonstrate this feature, but whenever you have problems like this, that a field contains information which cannot be converted to a specific data format, then this is how Power BI Desktop shows you this problem. How can you now deal with it? Well, one option would be to go to the population combined query right here. Now you could go to the right, select the column, and now use the home ribbon and here the remove rows feature and then remove the errors. That would be one option. Here would get rid of this error. Now you remove the error, and if you would now load the information, the error would not occur again. This is not recommended right here, of course, because as we saw, the field actually contained important information. We had numbers in there. We just had some text ahead of it, which obviously cannot be converted. So the more correct approach in this case is to undo this removed error step, to go back to this error here. Now, simply select the entire error, go back to the population combined query. Now, and I'm showing you this because this can also happen throughout the course in case you miss a step or things like that. Therefore, make sure to closely watch this. And here you could now go to the Replace Values menu again and paste that value. But the problem is that you get a warning here that you should paste, if you click onto it, that you should enter or paste a number value. Why is this displayed? Well, because we formatted that column as a number. So the easiest way to fix this now is to undo the change type step we have right here. So we turn back all the information back to text for all our columns. Now we go to the column where we have the problem, go to replace value, paste the value we want to replace. Then here we only have to select the number towards the end. This is not working as intended. Now it works. Now we paste the actual value below here, go to the advanced options, match the entire cell contents, and now press OK. With this, we replace the value. Now we can again select all our columns once again, as we did it already, until here. Go to Transform Detect Data Type to format the information once again. As you can see, we have the decimal number here, string right there, whole number for the year and for the country ID, so this is fine. And if we now again go to the home ribbon and now press Apply once again, we hopefully see that our error is finally gone. We didn't get any additional error message, so if we now scroll to the right and look into our bar, this looks perfectly fine. We don't have any more errors in here. This means we can now simply right-click onto this so-called group right here and delete the group because the error is fixed, so we don't need that information anymore. So let's press delete and go back to the combined query. And this means we again progressed a lot in our course project, and now is the time to dive into another really exciting feature, pivoting and unpivoting.